Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Now today I'm going to be doing the second part of the forgotten VCT teams in Masters and Champions. Obviously I have seen the amount of support that the first video got, and here is the second one. And also apologies that this video has been taking so long to make. I have a lot of stuff on school, so that's why it has been delayed for a bit, but finally I found the time to finally do the 2022 forgotten VCT teams and Masters and Champions. So let's get right into it. And first started with Masters 1, which was at Reykjavik, just like last year, well I should say 2021. Now when I said Ninjas in Pajamas is the most forgotten team out of all of the VCT teams in Masters Reykjavik. The roster included Zand, John, BNJ, Bezin1, and Cowanzin, and Flyer as the coach. How they actually got into Masters? Well, they actually got in from the Latin versus Brazil playoffs, where they beat Leviathan in a clean sweep 3-0 victory, and Zand he got MVP for that. How they went though in Masters? Not that great. They did beat out Fnatic, but we need to give Fnatic the benefit of the doubt. That was when Durka was a bit ill, was a bit sick. So they couldn't actually play Durka, who's obviously his star player. They also suspended Brave AF because of some leaks that happened. I'm pretty sure this was during the Russian-Ukraine invasion. Well, like the beginning of it, I should say. But they were not too bad, but they came in Group A, 1 and 2, they came third place, 73 to 74 map record and a -1 map differential. But once again, they did win against Fnatic, but they lost to DRX in the winners match, and they just lost to Z Division in the decider match. It was a close game though, but they just couldn't make it to playoffs, sadly. But to be fair, Z Division, they were on a run. They were hauling ass. So it makes sense for that. But it just weren't that bad. I mean, there were some good, some good moments, especially from Zan and Cowanzin. And some parts as well from BNJ. But then just the rest, not really, in my opinion. They were just all of them were kind of off, sadly. But you might be wondering, where are these players now? And even the coach of Flyer. Well, Zand, he is now with 00 Nation after being part with Korea Sports during lockdown. That didn't come to fruition. So he's now with 00 Nation, who's obviously competing in the Brazilian VCL league. John, the last time he played competitively was in Red Cannons, and now he is a free agent. BNJ, he's now returned back to South America, and he is now playing for Infinity. Bezin1, he is with Zen as part of 00 Nation. And Cowanzin, I think the most memorable one, he's now currently playing with Loud, obviously the winning team from Champions. As for their coach, Flyer, he is currently active, but the last time he actually coached a team was in-game and esports and Delara as well, after he left Ninjas in Pajamas. So some players, especially Zand and Cowanzin, are very, very prominent in esports in Valorant. As for other ones like John and Flyer as a coach, nothing really. But with Masters 1 out of the way, let's now talk about Masters 2. Masters 2 is now up next, and this was pretty easy to say. I said Northeption. Now, obviously, Northeption, their players include Rayleigh, Meteor, Black, Wiz, Zinfrey, and Jojo. This was obviously when they actually beat out Z Division, which back then was a massive upset. They beat out Z Division in the grand finals. They also beat out Crazy Record after they lost to Z Division in the upper bracket final. So that was a bit of an upset. Basically, just Northeption as a whole was just an upset, basically. No one was really expecting Northeption to make it to Copenhagen. We all thought it was going to be Z Division or even Crazy Raccoon, as they were slowly picking up the pace, but it was actually Northeption who defied all the odds. Well, how did the team went? Well, they were actually a part of Group B. They lost to DRX in the opening match, a 2-0 victory. That's not really surprised. I remember that Plat Chat video when Wyatt for some reason preded Northampton to win against DRX. That was stupid. However, they did win against Xerxia, which I'll be honest, throughout this whole Masters and like Masters 1, 2, and even Champions, they were just nowhere. I was actually really tempted to put Xerxia as one of the teams, but I decided not to really do that. But at least Northampton won that. I mean, on like Split was not that close. Haven wasn't close at all, but Bayern that went to overtime pretty sure like twice. So at least that was pretty close. Meteor gained MVP, but then they lost to FPX in the decider match. Yikes. But it's fine because FPX won the tournament, so I guess it wasn't too bad for Northampton. And obviously in Group B, they went on to 64-86 and a -22 map differential, which is actually worse than Xerxia, which is a bit of a surprise, but at the same time not really, because Northampton, they played more matches than Xerxia. As for like obviously the other players, I forgot to also talk about the coaches, which are Bale and just Bale. So as for the other players, D'Reilly, he's actually still with Northampton till this day, as of recording this on the 23rd of May. Meteor, he's with Genji. Obviously, Genji, they got knocked out of the Pacific League by T1, so he will be making another appearance on LAN. Black Wiz, he is with D'Reilly as part of Northampton once again. Zinfree, he's part of Destination Focus Me, basically the worst team out of any VCT League team. And Jojo, he is part of Fennel as one of their new players. As for their coach Bale, he's joined Genji along with Meteor as their coach, along with Elmer Putty, who's also the Genji coach as well. But to be fair, so Northampton, we kind of didn't really expect a lot from them, I'll be honest. They were just there. It was just going to be either Northampton or Xerxia winning the elimination match and then losing to either DRX or FPX. So yeah, we kind of expect nothing from them. But that's really about it for Masters 2. Let's now talk about Champions. Alright, well, Champions is now upon us, and this was actually pretty difficult to say. I could have said many teams. I could have maybe said Boom Esports, but then we all remember that little crashy days that happened on Fracture. Could say even Edward Gaming, but Edward Gaming, they were hyped up like massively because they were the first Chinese team to make it onto LAN, and they smoked everyone in the East Asia LCQ. So I decided to go with another South American team, Furia Esports. Now this is a bit of I guess you could say Boom Esports, you could say Edward Gaming. The reason why I said Furia is because who really remembers Furia Esports in Champions? Like, yeah, they were in last year, and they kind of got smoked, and that's kind of also the same as last year as well, 2022 in Champions Turkey in Istanbul. Obviously, the players included QCK, Kalai, Nolsweir, Mazen, DG Zin, and Cloud as the coach. How they went? They were part of Group D, and I'm pretty sure Group D was a bit of a death group, to say the least. There was DRX, Fnatic, and 100 Thieves in it, and obviously Furia, they came last. They got swept by DRX in the opening match, so a 2-0 victory. I said it was pretty close though, but still not really a good sign either way. But they did lose a pretty close game against Fnatic, so I'll give them that. It was a very close game versus Fnatic in the elimination match, and Fnatic obviously they did later on to beat out 100 Thieves in the decider match. But I think they played pretty well, pretty decently. Yeah, they went 0-2, 49-64, and -15 map differential. That's actually the second worst map differential, tied with Xerxia. The best map differential, I guess you could say, was Edward Gaming in Group A with -9, and Boom Esports was the worst with -27, especially with that weird crashy days that happened on Fracture, which is why I did not put Boom Esports there. But for the stuff I guess now for the players and coaches where they're at now, I'm pretty sure majority of them are actually still with Fury Esports to this day. That also includes QCK. He's still with Fury Esports. Calais, I don't know how you say his name still, but he's with Furia. Noah's, we're pretty sure is the only one who's not with Furia anymore, and he is actually with he's now with Leviathan. Mazen, he's with Furia. DG's in, he's still with Furia. And their coach Kalal, still with Furia. So nothing a lot has changed for Furia Esports, which is not really a surprise, because to be fair, on paper, their roster actually is pretty decent, and I mean, they definitely showed out as well in the Americas League. But that is really about it for today's video, and I may probably do this a pretty similar video maybe next year with maybe Locked In. I'm not too sure about Locked In still. Masters Tokyo and Champions in Los Angeles maybe next year or even 2025, but we shall see. So that's really about it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys till next time in the next one. Goodbye.